Hey everyone, it's Lisa from the blog farmhouseonboone.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make my sourdough cinnamon rolls. As you know, with any sourdough recipe, the night before making it, you want to get your grain soaking. This is to get all those good sourdough benefits, which I'll go more into later. So for this particular recipe, I combined 1/2 cup of fed sourdough starter, 1/2 cup water, 1/2 cup melted coconut oil, 1/2 cup honey. So this makes this recipe really easy to remember. It's a bunch of 1/2 cups, and then 2 cups of flour. Now for this recipe, personally, I use freshly ground whole wheat flour that I made in my Nutri-Mill. Usually when I'm making recipes that aren't soured, I use einkorn, but usually for sourdough recipes, I will use whole grain wheat. Now that this has been sitting for up to 24 hours or overnight, the good benefits of the sourdough grains are in here. It's time to move on with the recipe. So to this, I'm gonna add 2 eggs, a teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda, and 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. Now you do want finely ground salt. All I have is coarse right now just because it's all I had at the store. You need to get some more. Now you can do this in your mixer if you don't like getting your hands super messy. I like to use my hands, but definitely a mixer is great. I personally would rather get my hands dirty than my mixer because it's just a mess. Either way, get this all combined. All right, once that is all combined, you can set this in a warm spot for another hour to do another rise. Now just for a little insider tip, I have skipped this step before and they were still delicious. So if you're in a hurry and you wanna make these for breakfast, you can definitely just skip that step. They will be a little fluffier if you don't, but either way, they're delicious. The next step after that is making the cinnamon filling and rolling them up and all that fun stuff. So to a small bowl, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of softened butter. You can obviously use homemade or store-bought. Now if you are in a hurry, because I know there are times when a recipe calls for softened butter and I don't have any and I really want to make it right now, and I also don't have a microwave, I have used melted butter and I mix some of the sugar and the cinnamon in with a little bit of the melted butter and put that in the cinnamon roll, and then I just put the rest of the butter on top. That totally works too, so you don't get kind of a soupy mess, but softened is the ideal choice. To that, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and a cup of organic brown sugar. Now, this is definitely a treat, not something you're making every day, like sourdough pancakes or something like that. But when you want something special, this is really good. It's great for Christmas morning or maybe birthday mornings. And then just give that a stir. Now it's time for the fun part, rolling out dough. Now when I get my kitchen finished and the countertops are installed, I'll just do it right on the counter. For now, I'm just gonna put out a little bit of wax paper. Now I am gonna dust my surface with some of my einkorn flour. That way it's not soured, but I can still have it not stick. I like to use my hands to flatten it out a lot. Also, you can use, obviously, a rolling pin. I'm just trying to create a large rectangle. The flatter it is, the more of a swirl you'll see. But even if you can't get it very flat, that's totally okay too. I'm telling you, if you combine this dough with cinnamon, butter, and sugar, you really cannot go wrong. I haven't had these taste bad yet. Okay, then I'm gonna add my butter mixture. Just kind of flatten it out all over it. Right now, I'm just gonna start rolling it up. Starting at one long edge, rolling it over. Right now, I just have a piece of thread from my sewing cabinet. You can also use floss, whatever you have that will cut into this. And I'm just going to cut them in about 2 or 3 inch rolls. Now I like to make mine in a 14-inch cast iron skillet, as long as it's well seasoned. you'll be good to go. This recipe should make around 14 cinnamon rolls. Now you can cut them a little bit wider and make them taller if all you have is a 12-inch skillet to put them in. Now I'm just going to pour about a half a cup of heavy cream on this and then let this sit in a warm place for about 30 minutes before baking. The goal is just to allow the cream to soak up into the cinnamon rolls. Again, I have skipped this step if you're in a big hurry, and that's fine too. Then I'm just gonna put them in a 375-degree oven for 15 minutes. All right, while that's baking, I'm going to get my cream cheese topping going. Again, this is optional, but so delicious. I'm going to get 8 ounces of cream cheese going with a half a cup of heavy cream, 1/2 a cup of pure maple syrup. You could also use honey, but in my experience, this is a lot tastier with the syrup, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Just gonna allow that to heat over low and give it a stir, and once it's nice and melted, it'll be perfect over the cinnamon rolls, which should be done in just a few minutes. All right, now if you are brand new to sourdough, I offer on my blog a sourdough ebook. It has all of my favorite sourdough recipes in it. I have everything from pizza crust to pancakes, biscuits, English muffins, sourdough skillet dinner, which is delicious, cinnamon rolls, pot pie. You should check it out. It's on the blog, it's for free. Also, check out my video on how to make a sourdough starter if you are brand new to this world of sourdough and you're curious as to why you would even want to have a sourdough starter. I'm all about sourdough on my blog, and so I'm constantly making new recipes, coming up with new ideas here in the kitchen for ways that I can use my sourdough starter. And I know a lot of you are loving it too, because I'm constantly getting tagged on Instagram and people make wonderful looking sourdough creations, which I really enjoy, so keep on doing that. I hope that you and your family enjoy these cinnamon rolls as much as we do in our family. They are such a treat. Whenever my kids hear that we're soaking dough for cinnamon rolls the next day, they're always very excited. This is also something you could bring to a family Christmas or party. It's just so delicious. All right, well, if you are brand new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I make 2 new videos every week on food from scratch, natural living, and a handmade home. Thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.